Okay, let's start background. I really like to start from the beginning, childhood, family. Um, I never thought that I would be the CEO of a technology company, but when I was a little girl, I used to play with my Barbie dolls, chairman of the board, and I was like addicted to my computer, so I guess it was meant to happen. But tell us a bit more about your childhood, how you grew up, and really how you developed your passion for food.
Yeah, of course. So I originally was born in Latvia in Daugavpils. It's a very small town. We have 100,000 people, so it's called like a small village technically. And I grew up in a sort of standard family. My parents got married very young when they were 20. They had me when they were 22. Unfortunately, they got divorced. It seems quite common, I think, when people get married that age. So I didn't have like the best childhood, like most people, I think, don't. But we moved away with my mom when I was only 10 to the capital of Latvia, Riga, and she kind of raised us. So we lived with mom. And yeah, so in terms of childhood, my granny used to have a baking and cake shop, and she used to sell like different food and cakes, and she's my mom's mom. So she kind of had this passion for food that I would spend 3 months during the summer with her, in the cottage, and I would just watch her cook, and she would make homemade jams. She would grow all the vegetables and fruits, and I think that's where my love for food came from her, really, not from my mom. So yeah.
And then tell us more about your experience. So you grew up in Latvia, but then as a teenager, you moved to the UK. So how did that influence you, or how was that experience?
Honestly, it was very difficult. I think I moved a lot of schools as a child already. And then when I was 13, my parents decided that I should go to England. So they wanted to do it so that I have better education. I left when I was 14 on my own. It was very, very, I would say now, traumatizing experience. I didn't really speak English. I knew basic things like, how to say where I'm from and, what's my name. And I went to a British school. I lived in a boarding school for the first year, but I really hated it. So then they put me to live with like a guardian, which is like a parent. It was very difficult, I would say, for the first year. I think I cried every day. And I really wanted to go back because everything was foreign to me, the food, the people, the language. It just, the school was really difficult. Like, I didn't speak English and I had to learn physics and biology in English language. Like, it was just very overwhelming. And I just remember that I had to grow up really fast as well. I had to kind of do everything myself. I would call my mom, be like, "Mom, my button broke on my shirt. Like, how do I sew it?" And she would explain to me on the phone how to sew, and I would just do it. And it's just like a little things like that. So obviously I'm grateful for the experience, but I think I wouldn't go again if I had a chance at such an early age. I think it was a bit maybe too early.
But I definitely could see how that experience, shaped you, and just being able to have that grit and that determination in order to be successful as an entrepreneur, because that is what you need when you become an entrepreneur, because it's not easy.
Survival skills. And also I think the fact that, because I felt as any child, they would put their money towards, sending me away. I had to prove that I can do well, I can study well. So I was actually put in a year below me, but I really didn't want to be with younger people because I felt like I was a loser, like, why am I, 14 with like 12-year-olds in the same year? So I studied really hard. I had like a private tutor in English. So I studied English every day, and then half a year through the year, I was transferred to my age group, which made me very happy. And then of course, like, I think all my life I kind of felt like I need to prove, and I think I'm still doing it now. And yeah, so I became one of the top students in my school, and I think out of my whole school, only 3 or 4 people managed to get into Cambridge, LSE or Oxford. And I was 1 out of 4 people, not a British citizen, that got into London School of Economics. So it